Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions. Game over, series over, and the Red Sox are world champs again. And so are these fans. It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years. The Red Sox are world champions.
Boston organization has been well run for a long time now. From the top on down, here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series. 5-1 the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
The Red Sox have won the World Championship. The Boston Red Sox beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. They win the World Series 4-1. And the Red Sox become the first team in the 21st century with 4 World Championships. Can you believe it?
Welcome, everybody, to another special edition of the Pesky Podcast. I am the host of Ritt. My co-host, DC, he had to do daddy duty today, taking care of the kid, but we're doing a special one. We're doing a all-time Red Sox fantasy baseball. I've got 2 great guys here. I got Anthony on the Cape. I got my man Nick Diamond Media. Anthony, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, I live on the Cape. My family's from Boston. I was born up there, but I live on the Cape now, and I'm just a huge Red Sox fan. Dating back to like mid '80s. Really, just when I started playing baseball, and just honestly, we had Dewey, Boggs, Jimmy Rice, Clemens, that whole crew. '86 World Series was sort of like my childhood, you know what I mean? My introduction pretty much into the game, but love baseball, love Boston sports. And I love getting on Twitter and just interacting with fans and talking baseball. I like to do my spaces, the Twitter spaces there. And, just talk to everybody and talk Sox. That's what I'm here for.
Man,
thank you. And I'm glad to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was on one of your spaces the other night, and I had a lot of fun just getting away from everybody, talking Sox. Met a lot of great people, a lot of knowledgeable people, and a lot of people that just wanted to, some questions answered. So I had a great time. Nick, what's going on, man? Tell everybody a little bit about you.
How are you? Hi. So I'm a Sox fan my whole life, but I actually work for the Miami Marlins now, so kind of hard to say that I'm a Sox fan still, but I'm always going to be a Sox fan. I'm excited for this. I think it's a really good idea, and I'm really excited to hear everyone's takes on who they think's the best and who's the best at each position, so I'm really excited.
Man, I sat there and I interacted with you a little bit, Nick, on Twitter and stuff, and man, I can't wait to have you on before the season, before the series. Red Sox Marlins to discuss the Marlins rotation, their lineup. I can't wait for that. But tonight we're talking about all-time Red Sox fantasy baseball draft. Man, this is going to be crazy. To make it fair, I don't know either one of your guys' birth dates. We'll keep the year out of it. Our birthday will be the order of our draft. Mine is May 14th.
I'm June 27th.
December 3rd.
Okay, so
I'm last. I'm bringing up the rear.
Okay, so I go first. Nick, you're second. Anthony, you're
Now, is this a snake draft? So do I get the 4th pick, or do we go back?
We will sit there and let you have the 4th pick, and then we'll work our way back to me.
Okay.
Sounds
so
good.
First overall, let's let everybody know we are picking every position player, a DH, 3 starting pitchers for a rotation, and a closer. Some rules: as long as they had 1 season with the Red Sox, they're eligible. and let's just have some fun. First off, overall, I will be taking Pedro Martinez.
That was my guy too. I was taking Pedro number 1 if I had to pick. Great pick.
Yeah. So I just love the way he played the game overall, and he might not even be the ace of my pitching staff. So
You were probably playing the room a little bit. You kind of thought he was going to go early, right?
I sit there and I'm like, man, you started talking about when you started liking baseball, when you started liking the Sox, and I'm like, okay, so this guy's been around for a little bit, so I might have to get Pedro off the board real quick.
That was a good call because if he was on the board, that was my pick 100%.
So Nick, you're up, my man.
All right, so I've been thinking about this a lot. I was thinking about taking a weak position first, but after your Pedro pick, I'm going Roger Clemens.
Okay, 2 starting pitchers back to back.
All right, well, you've left the door wide open for me. I'm gonna make my first pick Teddy Ballgame. I need that left-handed bat in the middle of my order.
Okay.
And
I guess I'm next there.
Oh no. He gets back to back, Nick.
Oh, you're right. He does get back to back. Yep, of course.
And I'm gonna one up you with your Pedro pick and take David Ortiz off the board.
Oh, see, and that was my problem. Do I go starting pitcher, or do I sit there and take? Now, is David Ortiz going to be your DH, or is he
David
going to play
Ortiz
first?
will be my DH. Yes.
Okay.
100%. I'm not going to put him. I was thinking, like, could you slide him in at first? But honestly, he's a DH, and I'm going to put somebody else at first. I got Williams in left, and I got Poppy at Poppy at DH.
Oh man, well, what a 3-4 you got right there.
Absolutely, man. I'm building the middle of my order.
Okay, Nick, you're up.
All right, so I'm thinking here. Do I go back with another pitcher, or do I go with? So I think the weakest position is catcher. I'm going to go Carlton Fisk. I think it leaves not many options after that besides Veritek. So I'm going to go Fisk.
Man, I love that pick. I love
Great
pick.
pick. That was going to be an early pick of mine as well.
Okay, I will. Man, well, let's let Anthony take care of the scramble for a catcher. I'm going to take Veritek.
I think that's right there. I mean, after that, I have no idea who else you would go to third.
But here's the problem. I do have some guys third. I thought about this last night, and guess what? I don't have to take my catcher now until the last pick. So thank you very much for taking that off the board for me.
Exactly. And man, let's sit there and let's take. Let's go another starting pitcher for me. Let's get 2 of them off there. Give me Cy Young.
Wow. Wait, who's your other? Okay, you got Pedro and Cy Young. Nice. That's a pretty good start to the rotation. You guys are loaded right now at starting pitching.
So I'm pretty happy with my rotation so far.
And you got the catcher that can handle it. That's for sure.
Oh, Veritek. What? I think he's the only catcher to catch 4 no-hitters.
4, at least 4. He might have had
4.
5, but he was close to. I mean, they were close to like 5 or 6. I mean, Kurt Schilling, right? He had one in 07, right?
Yeah,
that was like 1 out away.
Yeah,
and he shook Veritek off for the first time and lost it.
So Nick,
don't ever shake off Veritek ever.
Oh no.
So I'm thinking here, man. So you took Cy Young. So we have to pick a left fielder, a center fielder, and a right fielder. You can't just pick 3 outfielders.
Correct.
Well, I would say I was thinking this too, but like, yeah, I mean, like I could play Ted Williams in right or left, right? I mean, it doesn't matter like how I want it, but I mean, like, but you're gonna have to put a lineup out there, basically, of your team, right? Of like which position they would play.
So I might take Tris Speaker in center field.
Going way
I
back.
think
You got
I'm gonna
Cy
do
Young
that.
and Tris Speaker?
He's got Cy Young.
Okay, that's
I got Clemens. Yeah, I'm gonna take Speaker.
All right. Well, that's a good pick. He's a hell of a player. He's a Hall of Famer, obviously. But that leaves, again, the door wide open for me to grab my boy Mookie Betts.
Ooh, okay.
He's off the board.
And he's probably going to be my center fielder, by the way. That's what I was kind of getting at.
That's what I was thinking, too. He might be my second choice at center.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't know yet, though.
You sit there, you got a possible leadoff and the 3-4.
Yeah, well, we don't even know, we don't even know yet who else is going to be on the squad here. But I am going to go with you know what? I'm going to take I'm just going to take Nomar. Just because I want to lock up that shortstop position.
Yeah, I thought about that too last pick, but I think there's a little bit more shortstops we can do.
Yeah,
But I
definitely.
like that pick. Yeah, Nomar's off the board. So are you up again, or am I up now?
Oh no, I just
Or
took
is he
two.
up now? He's up now. Okay,
You're up.
he's up.
No, you're up.
I'm up.
No.
Okay,
Yep.
he's up.
No, Nick's up.
You're up, Nick.
Okay. I think I'm going to take Yaz for left field.
Oh, you snuck there. I was just getting ready to take him for first base.
I think I might be able to move him to first later on, but I'm going to take him for left field at the moment.
Man, I was just getting ready to take him for first base.
Yeah. I might move him to first. I think that might be my first baseman also. We'll see.
It does start to get a little hard once those names fly off the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just to figure out where you want to go next.
Yeah, because I'm looking at what you guys already picked, and I'm trying to sit there and see where I can go. Whew. Well, I got to get a little pop in my bat. So I'll take first base, Mo Vaughn.
Great pick.
All right. I had him on my list here, but I think I'm okay with that.
And for my second pick, I don't know which way I want to go. It's kind of like both of them. Let's take care of second base and go Bobby Doerr.
You guys going with the legends, man. You guys going with the legends.
Bobby's off the board. All right.
Those numbers out in right field you're going for.
I was thinking him or Pedroia. I'm like, I need a little speed.
Yeah.
Nick, you're up, man.
Well, with that, I'm going to take Pedroia now. I think I have to take Pedroia because after those two, I think there's not much after that. All right.
Wait, so let me ask you a question. I mean, I can still move Ortiz to first base, right? I mean, I don't have
so.
Yeah. You can move him wherever you want, as long as because the DH could be the last person you pick.
Okay. I'm not going to wait on that because I'm going to take Manny Ramirez.
Manny being Manny.
So now I've got my outfield and DH and first base all locked up because I got Williams, Manny. Okay, no, actually, no, I don't. I still have one spot open there, so I have some flexibility. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think Manny's one of the greatest right-handed hitter. He should be in the Hall of Fame, obviously, but I think he's one of the greatest right-handed hitters. And I don't screw around with my lineup. I like to get the best guys out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take Rafael Devers at third base.
Wow. Okay. I was going to take Manny next, so that was probably the right pick from you there. Devers.
I sit there. I love how, like, we know who we're going to pick next, and then the guy snaps him right in front of you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm up now. Or no, you got two, right?
No, I just got two. I
Okay,
got Manny and I got
Endeavors.
So I got catcher, one pitcher, center field. Okay. I think I'm going to go Jimmy Fox at first base. Yeah, I'm going to take Jimmy Fox. Another old one, but
Hey, great pick.
I'm not going to move Yaz because you took Manny. I'm not going to move Yaz to first base, so I got to take a first baseman.
Man. Let's see where we're going. Well, third base. Let's go third base. Let's go Wade Boggs.
The chicken
Boggs
man
is off the board. Yeah, I think he was probably the best right there for the third baseman. All right.
And let's go left field. We're going to go Jim Rice.
That's the next one I was thinking then. So here you go. Good one. Wow. Jim Rice is off the board. I need a shortstop, don't I?
There's actually a lot of I was looking at it last night. There's actually a lot of shortstop, but some of them are a little bit more like defensive wizards, or you know what I mean, like some of the old guys.
Yeah. I think Nomar off the board early was a good idea because after that it's a bigger fall off. Move on's off the board. I'm gonna go. Wow. I'm gonna go Xander Bogaerts, I guess. I'm gonna take him at short.
Yeah, great pick. I was between Bogarts and Nomar, and I just because Nomar in his prime, that's what I was thinking. But it was a tough choice between those two.
Man, Nomar in his prime was a movie star in Boston.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so I am going to end up putting David Ortiz at first base because I do want to get my guy, probably my favorite player of all time. The guy I grew up just my favorite player, Dwight Evans. So I'm going to stick Dwight Evans in right. We're going to have probably Ted Williams in left, Manny at DH, and Ortiz at first. I know I'm not going necessarily a defense at first base, but let me get on the board with my pitchers here because my offense is almost complete. And it's a tough choice. Give me Babe Ruth.
Oh, that was going to be my third and final.
I didn't know if I was going to take him or not, but I definitely was thinking about him.
As a pitcher,
yeah,
he's one of my pitchers.
Pitcher.
Even though he did have a couple of good years hitting, but I'm taking him as a pitcher.
Okay, that's nice. Nick, you got a couple small holes in the lineup.
I do. I already took Tris Speaker at center field, but now you got Yaz and left. Do I want to take another outfielder here? Evans is off the board, correct?
Yes.
You just took him?
Correct.
Okay,
I'm full. I'm full with my outfield. I can't, I'm done with my outfield. So
yeah, man. I'm kind of wondering if the closer position is going to be like the defense in fantasy football.
I'm going to go Fred Lynn here to play one of my outfield spots.
Great pick. Dude, have you guys follow him on Twitter? Did you see his knees recently? His knee surgery?
Yeah, I seen that. That was yeah. Okay, let's see. Well, I need a right fielder. I need center field. Man. Need shortstop. Well, man. Well, after the podcast, let's take my shortstop. Let's get Johnny Pesky.
You got to, right? Hell of a player.
I got to.
I mean, you look what he did. You look what he did his first year coming back from World War II. I mean, he was phenomenal, instrumental in the Red Sox season in 1946.
Oh man, and I'm gonna talk. It's a toss up between two pitchers. I'm gonna go close out my pitching rotation. A man that should have never left Boston. Give me John Lester.
Lester's off the board. All right.
Nice.
So, I need a DH, and I need to go pitching soon. I got to go pitching. I got a few that I'm messing around with, but I'm going to go Kurt Schilling. He did so much for the team. You got to do it.
Yeah. He was probably going to be my next pick.
Yeah.
Should be a Hall of Famer. Never won a Cy Young, but I think he won 20 games 3-4 times. Obviously won World Series. I mean, the guy was nails. You look at his playoff record, it's a joke he's not in the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna jump the gun on the closer, and I'm gonna take my guy Pap. I got Papelbon. Papelbon in his prime. And I was going to take Kurt Schilling. So now I want to take very specifically 2007 Josh Beckett.
Oh, nice.
Beckett's gone. All right.
That was one of Dombrowski's finest there.
Yeah. Let's see what we got to do. I'm up now.
Yeah. Well, no, that was actually it wasn't. It was actually Larry Lucchino. Because what happened was that's when Theo Epstein was in the gorilla suit. That's when he left Fenway. Theo Epstein was on a sabbatical at that point, and that's when they traded Hanley Ramirez for Josh Beckett.
Yep. It was what Beckett. It was Mike Lowell.
Yep.
And Mike Lowell was the throw-in piece.
He was like a throw-in. Yeah, exactly. He was coming off a bad year, and neither one of them had a great 06s. Mike Lowell, obviously defensively, but I mean 07, they were both just lights out.
Yeah.
Maybe two of the top players on the team, obviously. I mean, Josh Beckett in 2007 was one of the best pitching seasons ever for the Red Sox. I mean, that I've seen outside of like Pedro and Clemens.
Mm-hmm. So Nick, you need third base, you need a DH, starting pitcher, and a closer.
I'm gonna go Beltre here. I'm gonna take him. It's who I wanted from the start. I want Beltre. I'm gonna put him at third base.
Okay, nice.
I mean,
nice.
You mentioned Lowell there, but Beltre had a better career, so I'm going to go Beltre.
Let's see here. Man.
What do you have left? What do you have left, Ritt?
Closer, right field, center field, DH.
Huh? There's the outfield is the deepest position. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. And DH, I could put anybody I want in there to try and block you at second base or catcher.
Okay. I don't think you're going to block my catcher, or maybe not even my second baseman. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Let's Man, okay. Let's go DH. And I loved him. Let's go Uke.
All right, I like that one.
Yeah.
Luke's gone.
And I was switching bet. I was flip flopping back and forth between someone else, but I think I might be able to still slide him in an outfield position.
Is it still you?
It's still me. It's gone. Oh man, who do I sit?
I'm up now here. I got
no, it's
you're
still me.
Picking
It's still
another
me.
one? Okay.
Yeah, it's still me.
It's getting harder here. Yuke's off the board.
Okay, let's go center field. Let's go Dom DiMaggio.
Good pick.
I might go with my closer now. I've been thinking of going back and forth between two, but I'm going to go Kimbrel over Koji, I think. Yeah, I'm going to take Kimbrel. He's too good elsewhere. Probably a Hall of Famer if you think about it. He might be a top 5 closer of all time. I'm going to go Kimbrel.
He had a couple of great years here. He was lights out here for sure.
Man, I was really surprised in the 2018 World Series that they brought Sale in to close the game out instead of Kimbrel.
I think he was just toast at that point.
I've always wanted Kimbrel to hit his moment because I think if he closed out that World Series, it's like his Hall of Fame moment. But they didn't let him have the chance, so it's kind of tough.
All right, so I'm not sure where we're at pitching wise with you guys. Are you guys full on your staffs? I guess
I'm full. Nick has one more spot open.
Yeah, I still got to take one more.
So this is tough. I need somebody pretty solid. So I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna go with Louis Tiant. And just to kind of solidify that rotation. So my pitching staff's done. I just got catcher in second.
Correct.
So second base. I think I have my guy here that I'm going to go for with my last pick. So I just want to say, so right now there's 2 catchers on the board that I think should be considered. And one of them is a guy named Wally Shang. I'm not too familiar with him, but I looked him up. Supposedly he was just like a phenomenal defensive catcher. He's one of like the best defensive catchers of all time, but I think it's a little too old fashioned. And his offense wasn't there. So I'm just going to go with Rich Gedman. He was a really good catcher for the Red Sox in the 80s. And I think he's behind Veritek and Fisk. I think he's probably right there as the third guy, especially when you're factoring offense and defense. So I'm going to go with Gedman as my catcher.
Man, nice. Man, we were originally supposed to have 5 people
right
doing this.
So Wally Shang would have been taken probably.
Like I told my buddy DC, and I'm like, man, we're gonna end up having like Sultan Amakia out there,
Rick Cerrone.
Yeah.
Tony Pena. No, I'm sure it would have been like Vasquez or something,
Yeah. So Nick, you need a DH and a starting pitcher.
I'm gonna take my starter now. I'm gonna go Eckersley, but I was thinking Chris Sale honestly, but I'm gonna go Eck.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I was kind of thinking Sale myself, but I was just like, I don't know.
Now that was crazy because I was saving Eck for my closer.
Right.
And now you just took him off the board for me. So now I have to go with not the best closer statistically, but the most memorable closer in Red Sox history, Keith Bulk.
Yeah.
2004. He's in center field. Okay, I already have center field. I'm looking for right field. Man, right field. Well, he played left field. See, and the bad part is when I put this up on Twitter, a lot of people are going to be like, who are half these people if they're not true Red Sox fans? So I'm going to take Mike Greenwell.
The Gator.
That's who I was going to take for my DH. I didn't think he was going to get picked, so I kept him last, but good pick there.
Yeah, I'll throw him over in right field. I think he's going to do fine.
Freaking doubles machine. That's what I kind of want, like Verdugo to kind of be more like, as like a Mike Greenwell.
I honestly think Yoshi might end up being a doubles machine this year.
Yeah.
He's gonna end up putting holes in that monster.
Yeah. He should hit 40 doubles.
Easy.
Yeah.
So, Nick.
So this is the last pick, right?
Got a bunch of guys I'm thinking for DH. I mean, Mike Lowell jumps out to me. Adrian Gonzalez, JD Martinez. I'm gonna go JD Martinez, I guess. More recency, and he actually is a DH, so I'll go JD.
All right. I'm gonna pencil in my final pick. So shout out to my guy Lou Merloni. It's not gonna be Lou, but Lou was a hell of a ball player. He knows how to play the game of baseball. That's what I'm looking for this year from the Red Sox. Just guys who play the game the right way. And this guy certainly did. He's going to be my second baseman, one of the most underrated players in Red Sox history. Probably should have won an MVP in 1995. John Valentin.
Nice.
Defensive freaking wizard and also very, very good hitter. Very clutch.
Nice. Man.
I like that.
Our lineups.
And I could have used him at short or third as well. That's why I was kind of asking before, like, is there a specific position we're going with? But yeah, I'm going to stick Johnny V at second base.
Man, looking at these lineups, man, they're really well rounded. They're really filled out. And more recently, there are a few guys that have made those big moments that are left off. Like, I was thinking somehow Napoli could have been on here.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's why it's going to be fun if we have one or two more people. You know what I mean? Because then it's going to be a little bit more, it was kind of like I waited at the end and to get my catcher in second because I knew you guys weren't taking any. So it's like having a little bit tougher with five people or something, that would have been challenging. Like you said,
yeah.
That would have been really challenging and fun.
And the rosters would have been a lot deeper too.
Exactly. So,
but hey, it was great. Do you guys want to stick on and talk a little Red Sox?
Yeah.
I got a place to go by in the next few minutes, so I might have to head off. But I appreciate you, man. I had fun.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for hopping on. I sit there and I'll post these out there on Twitter. We're getting people to sit there and vote who had the best overall lineup.
So are we going to actually make out like a batting order or no? Or just kind of list our lineup?
We'll just list our lineups.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that there's a lot more older people out there that can, respect my lineup. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you guys got like Tris Speaker and fucking Cy Young up in your shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Nobody took Harry Hooper.
I was thinking of him. I was like
Jackie Jensen. There's a lot of good, old school players, I said, that guy, Wally Chang, check him out. He was throwing out like 50% of the base runners, which back then was probably pretty good.
Man, another person if someone would have picked Lester, I probably would have ended up taking Wakefield for a starter. I love Wakefield's career. That knuckleball was nasty.
Right.
So
yeah, man. Nick, it was good. It was good. It was a fun time, man. It's good.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys.
Meeting up with you, man.
Super fun. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Nick. Do you want to give a quick shout out where they can where people can look you up and find all your stuff?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter, NDiamondMedia. just like end the Shape Diamond Media.
So, okay, man. Thanks a lot, Nick, for coming
All
on.
right, I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
I'll talk to you
Have a good
soon.
one,
Peace.
Man,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Well, go. I'm sorry.
Oh no. I have the game over here off to my left.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
me too.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, we're up 7-2, looking good.
Yep.
Man,
Hauk looked great.
Yeah, he looked a little shaky at times, but overall he looked good. Man, I loved how Sale looked. Too bad that it was overshadowed by Justin Turner taking that ball, but
I know.
Sale looked amazing, and I was looking at on Twitter and stuff. I guess he got Justin Turner got 16 stitches. He didn't have to shave the beard, which is amazing. But I guess it hit him right around the cheekbone.
Yeah. It looked like it. I think it might have even like it caught a little bit of the like the ear flap, sort of that spot right there.
Yeah.
And he had shades on too. I don't know, but it just kind of like ricocheted. It was so close to that little corner right there. And it just kind of, even if it did hit the helmet first, then it immediately hit like, basically, I'm thinking like right under the eye, because he had a really, he was bleeding out of his nose. So it was like a sinus. It was kind of like, right there underneath his eye, really. Right on his cheekbone. Just a bad spot. It was scary, man.
Yeah.
I was watching it live and it was just like, holy shit. It was just like, wow, like that sucks. And I know everybody else that was watching, everybody was just like, holy crap. And then it was on the news and like they were talking about it everywhere, like it was like national. It was like a national story because it was pretty brutal.
Yeah. I was at work, so I was listening to it with my headphones on and stuff. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. But overall, Sale looked amazing. He had all three pitches working. He was in the mid-90s. So hopefully he can keep that up. I did hear that they're rumored Kluber might be battling for his opening day start. So
you mean opening day starter?
Yeah, opening day starter.
Okay.
So
that's surprising.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Sale versus Kluber? My opinion is if Sale's healthy, you got to give him the ball.
Yeah. No, I don't see why you wouldn't start Chris Sale. He's battled back after Tommy John surgery, a lot of weird injuries last year. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's our ace. He is our ace. And without Chris Sale being healthy this year, we've got very little chance at making the playoffs without Chris Sale being healthy. We just don't. And I know Chris Sale. I looked at his stuff. The difference between the two guys is I'm watching Corey Kluber, and he had good stuff as well, but not. He's a little bit more of almost like a junk ball guy now. He's really throwing a very low percentage of fastballs, good changeup, but it's spring training. Don't get too high on Corey Kluber right now. I do like him. I tweeted about him the other day, just how I like his demeanor and the fact that he pitches, not throws, right? So he's like a pitcher. He's skilled. He's won 2 Cy Young Awards. He knows how to pitch. He's a solid guy. He's an innings eater. He should be really reliable. He's in great shape. I like his attitude. He's a 3rd, 4th starter. Chris Sale's your ace. He's got to get the ball on opening day if he's healthy. And like you said, his stuff looks so good because his arm is really healthy. So he's got a great fastball. He had command of it. He had a phenomenal. That was like the best changeup we've seen in a long time from him. Of course, that's going to play off the fastball. The fastball effectiveness is going to help that changeup. And then if we know he's got the slider, everybody knows he's got a wipeout slider. Yeah. So when you're talking about 3 quality pitches right there, and just the importance of the guy, it has to be Chris Sale. It has to be Chris Sale.
Yeah, I sit there and say the exact same thing. You can't sit there and pay Sale, 1, what you're paying him for not being your ace. 2, you got to give the man respect because he came back. He admitted that he didn't live up to the contract. He wants to live up to that this year. He says the city of Boston and the fans deserve that. So to sit there and like not want to give him, or a possibility of not giving him that opening day starter role, That's now, don't get me wrong. Kluber looked good. He was pitching east to west very well, but
good mix. He was mixing it really good, and a lot of movement, a lot of mixing. Yeah, no, I'm with you. You make a great point too, just about the salary. I'm sorry, but he's our highest priced player. Now, I mean, I know Devers got the extension that hasn't quite kicked in yet. I'm just saying the last few years, our number one salary player is Chris Sale. He's our number one player. And so that's a good point. Like we're paying you to be our ace and our number one starter and our opening day starter. Here's the ball. Let's go see what you can do. Let's show you're healthy, and let's give everybody an understanding that this is a different team this year. We've got a healthy Chris Sale. He's our ace. He's our opening day starter. I'll be actually upset if he's not.
Yeah. Overall, the team, is a complete facelift almost. But we finally got a closer now. And Kenley Jansen, he looks comfortable. Like everybody was worried about because he was the slowest paced pitcher in majors. When he was in the other day, he didn't look like that. He looked comfortable. He didn't have no calls against him, and he kept up the pace consistently.
He looked strong. He looked really strong. I loved what I saw from Kenley Jansen. I think the bullpen is like the biggest. We talked about this, I'm sure, on the space the other night. There was a lot of people on there, so I don't know exactly what we personally discussed, but you were there. And that's something I've harped on, and it's not like a secret. You know what I mean? It's like our bullpen sucked last year, and it's actually sucked for 3 years, 4 years. You know what I mean? We've had trouble for a while. And actually, you're my age. We can go back even further to when we've had an inconsistent bullpen situation. We've always sort of been missing that. Sure, when we had Papelbon, we've had different guys, but it's like, you remember when we traded for Urbina, we traded Jeff Bagwell for Larry Anderson. It's like we've never been able to really solidify a good, consistent bullpen outside of a couple of seasons. Obviously, when we had Papelbon, well, guess what? You had a great closer. It sets the rest of the bullpen up. We were talking about that too, just having that hierarchy of having that closer in place, and it sets up everything else for success. And I'm with you 100%. He looked great. No issues with the pitch clock. He had a strong fastball. He looks like he's in good shape. I like his attitude. I mean, we've got our closer. We should be excited about that after what we've gone through the last few years.
Yeah, our bullpen, to me, AC just abused the bullpen these past couple of years, where they were just overused consistently over and over and over again. And maybe that's one reason why they did an overhaul in our bullpen, because they knew that they've been eating those innings and they have problems now. My biggest thing is how's Brazier still on the team, but that's no here nor there. But we got Chris Martin, and I can see him being a great 7th, 8th inning guy to come in to set up for Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, along with Johnny Schreiber, Rodriguez can match up against lefties. As far as Brazier, I've been like his biggest defender, and it's not so much that I'm like a huge Ryan Brazier fan or I think he's some great pitcher. But here's what I like about Ryan Brazier. Number one, he's got balls. Okay, he was nails for us in 2018. He was nails for us in 2021. And so he's pitched in big moments, and he's got command. He knows where the ball's going. For the most part. I mean, he can throw strikes. He has a very low walk rate. He throws strikes. Now, sometimes the problem is he throws it right down, like he'll leave a fastball in a bad spot and get hit. But this guy's got a 96, 97 mile an hour fastball with pretty good command. He's got a pretty damn good slider. He's got balls. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago. I mean, they pitched him like 5 days in a row, 4 or 5 days. I mean, the guy's got a rubber arm. To me, he brings a lot more than a Matt Barnes or a Caleb Ort. I mean, to me, if it's a choice between Brazier and Ort, it's not even a choice. I mean, I want a guy who has that intangible. I think he has a little bit of intangibles where nothing bothers him. He just comes in, he's going to give you that same effort. And I think he was overworked. You make a great point. Alex Cora has destroyed our bullpen many times, year after year. So now with Brazier in the correct role, being like that 4th through 6th inning, sort of a guy that comes in, gets you out of a jam, and that's it, and maybe limit his appearances into the 50s instead of being in the mid 60s, I think he's going to be fine. And guess what? He only makes $2 million. If worst case scenario, we can replace him. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's going to sit there in this year with the pitch clock and everything, the pitchers are going to have to rely on the catcher a lot more, because they can shake him off once, they can shake him off twice. That third time, they have to throw the ball, because they're gonna. That's why I kind of wish we still had Vasquez there, that veteran catcher that knows how to call a game and is comfortable with the pitchers. Like, we have Kluber, we have Paxton, and we have Sale with those veterans that, okay, I can work through this. But then you got the younger guys. You have the Bayos. You got Winkowski. You got Cutter Crawford, who they're going to rely heavily on the catcher calling that game. And I don't know defensively if McGuire and Alfaro are able to do that to a Vasquez level.
No, I mean, it's a fair point. I mean, I think there's some concern about catcher, but here's the thing. Jason Varitek, we know how he studied, right? How he studied opposing hitters and trends. And he's still the game plan coordinator. I don't know exactly what they call his role, but he's like the guy that comes up with the plan for how they're going to attack the other team. So he's in his lane doing that. He's going to help these guys out a lot. And the thing is, honestly, I know a lot of people that disagree with me. I've been saying this since they acquired him. Reese McGuire is better than Christian Vasquez. Christian Vasquez, a lot of people forget, yeah, he was good last year in a contract. He was horrendous the year before. I mean, this guy makes more outs on the base paths than anybody in baseball. He runs around the base paths like he's Willie Mays Hayes, is what I always say. I mean, it's ridiculous. The guy runs around he's trying to steal bases all the time and get these big leads and try to do all this tricky. Not to mention, he can't even remember how many outs there are, multiple times the last couple years, which has cost us runs and games. Mm-hmm. And he's just a horrible base runner, but he doesn't realize that. Like, he's very aggressive in a bad way, and his defense is very sort of. He plays with a lot of flair. He's throwing the ball all over the place. He's doing this, doing that. Reese McGuire is solid. I mean, this guy's a first-round pick. He's a left-handed bat. He's got a great arm. He's really solid back there. So I think we're actually upgrading our catcher position this year, especially as a whole, because, I mean, Plawecki brought you nothing. So when you look at a combination of a Reese McGuire and a Jorge Alfaro, I mean, I think there are going to be 20 to 25 home runs between the two of them, honestly. And I think you're going to be able to match up right, left. And I think, yeah, Alfaro might have some questions defensively, but I don't, he kind of looks like almost like a Mike Piazza kind of body. I mean, he's not, he's nothing. He looks like he's in good shape to me. He's got a good arm. He wants to learn. He's working with tech. I'm not too concerned with that, to be honest with you. And I had issues with the way Vasquez called some games. He likes to call backwards a lot, where he's starting you off with the breaking stuff or the off-speed stuff, and then trying to finish you off with high fastballs. Again, I don't know if that's Vasquez or the Red Sox, but I don't like that approach. I want to establish the fastball. When a guy's got a good mid-90s fastball, I want to throw it early and often. I mean, Pedro, he used to come out and throw nothing but fastballs the first couple innings. If you can't hit my fastball, I'm going to keep throwing it. And guess what's coming later on in the game? The nasty changeup, the nasty breaking ball. And now You don't know what's going to happen. That's what was so good about Pedro. He'd come out with his fastball first few innings. He'd just throw his fastball. I mean, it was phenomenal. And it was a great pick by you. I was like kind of curious. I was like, I wonder if he's going to go Pedro, man, because that was going to be my number one pick. Because the thing is, you put Pedro on the mound, your chances of winning, it's kind of like having Tom Brady at quarterback. You're most likely going to win that game. I love Pedro. I'm looking at my roster, man. I'm loaded with offense.
Yeah, I was looking at first number one overall pick, and I'm like, there was only two names that came to mind: Pedro, David Ortiz.
I couldn't believe Nick didn't take Ortiz too.
Man, who was his first overall pick?
His first pick was
it? Oh, Roger Clemens.
Was Roger? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the other thing is, I tend to, for the most part, I mean, obviously there's some guys here that didn't win, but I kind of lean towards guys who won championships that I watched when, that's why like I kind of specifically mentioned Josh Beckett 07, because I don't want the Josh Beckett from 09 or 2010. I want the 07 Josh Beckett, you know what I mean? But I mean, when you look at, Clemens, there was a lot of questions about his big game stuff, especially with the Red Sox, but I got Louis Tiant. My pitching staff's a little weird with Babe Ruth. I didn't know if he was going to get taken, but I mean, 07 Beckett, and I got Louis Tiant, and Rich Gedman at catcher. But dude, I'm loaded here. I got such a good lineup with Manny Ramirez, Dwight Evans, Mookie Betts, Ted Williams, Nomar, Devers, David Ortiz. He's playing first, which is an issue. I mean, that's one thing. I didn't plan on that. I couldn't believe how long Manny Ramirez was on the board. I had to take him.
Yeah, I'm sitting there and just looking at my lineup, and I'm kind of hoping when like I said before, when we put the votes out there, I'm kind of hoping to.
Give me your rundown. Give me your team real quick. Because I was paying attention to my own here.
I got Pedro, Cy Young, and John Lester.
Okay, you got
one
great
hell
pitching.
Of a rotation. But even with that pitching, I'd be afraid to go against your hitters. So
who's your lineup? You got Varitek, right?
I got Varitek. Oh, I got Mo Vaughn.
Oh yeah, no,
Bobby Dahr.
Okay.
Pesky at shortstop. Boggs at third, Jim Rice at left field, Mike Greenwell at right field, Dom DiMaggio at center field, and my DH is Uke.
It's a good line. It's a great team. There's for sure. I got Ted Williams and David Ortiz with the third and fourth pick. I mean, it's tough. If there was 4 or 5 people, that would have never happened.
Oh no,
no way that would have happened.
And I reached out to a bunch of people, and we're gonna end up doing this again with 4 or 5 people.
Yep.
And I'll actually step back. I'll just host everything and let everybody else go because I already did it.
Yep.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's a good idea. Shout out to Section 10. That's who I stole it from. So, but man, it's fun. And Nick's got a good team too.
Yeah. Who's he got?
He's got Clemens. He's got the bloody sock, Kurt Schilling. Dennis Eckersley, which, man, I was going to save him for my closer.
Well, yeah, he was a starter for the Red Sox, though. You know what I mean? He never closed for the Red Sox. He closed for the A's. And then, that's what I was thinking with that. I was surprised Koji didn't get taken because Koji in 2013, I mean, he was literally unhittable. So I was trying to decide. I was like, okay, Papelbon, Folk, and Koji were my 3 closers I was looking at. But he went with off the board of that, right? Who did he take again at closer?
Kimbrel.
That's right. He was my 4th or 5th closer. So I would have taken Koji personally because he was so unhittable.
Yeah. I took Folk just because that moment.
How do you not, dude? Keith Folk in 2004 was one of the key reasons why we won the World Series. The guy was phenomenal that year. We were so desperate for a closer after the previous couple of years, or at least the previous year, when in 03 we should have won the World Series, but our bullpen, the whole Grady Little situation, we needed that closer, and so I'm with you. I would have definitely taken Keith Folk. Like I said, I probably Papelbon and then Folk and Koji were my 2-3. I didn't know what order, but I dude, Papelbon in like 06 to like 09 or whatever. I mean, he was just so lights out. So what was the rest of his lineup?
He has Fisk, Fox, Pedroia, Xander, Adrian Beltre, Yaz, Fred Lynn, Tris Speaker, and JD Martinez.
He has a good lineup. He has a good lineup for sure.
You could actually tell he's the youngest one out of all of us.
Yeah, but he's got the Tris Speaker. Who's my? I only have the only old school guy. I mean, I got Babe Ruth, but everybody knows who Babe Ruth is. And then I got Louis Tiant, and I got I guess Dwight Evans and Ted Williams. I don't know. I like it. I don't even know who. So I'd probably have like Mookie Betts leading off, and then I'd probably go Ted Williams 2.
Oh,
and
man.
Then I'd go Manny 3 and Poppy 4. just give you that 1, 2, 3, 4 of Mookie Betts, Ted Williams, Manny Ramirez, and David Ortiz, and see how you like to deal with that.
and that's not even counting. You got Devers and Nomar
and Dwight Evans.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, my lineup is ridiculous.
I'm glad I got those pitchers going against that lineup.
Well, I think that set the tone too, because as soon as you took Pedro, it was kind of like, okay, these guys are going. You guys went pitching. I really waited on my pitching, and I was happy to get Papelbon because you had mentioned closer too, like about that. I just felt like Papelbon is the best, but yeah, no, man, it was great hooking up with you, man, and I enjoyed your podcast. I'm going to listen to your podcast, and so this is a podcast episode, basically.
This will be a bonus episode. I'm going to throw out there. So it's going to sit there and probably drop tomorrow. So I'll make sure I tag you in it, and we'll sit there and just have fun.
And then you're going to put the lineups out, and people are going to vote, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Yeah, we'll sit there and see who the fans liked, and I'm hoping a lot of 60, 70-year-olds know how to operate Twitter.
Well, yeah, I'll be sharing it out. I got quite a few of the old crowd with me. Yeah, so you got me at David Ortiz playing first. I was trying to decide who's a better left fielder, Ted Williams or Manny Ramirez. It's tough. I mean, because Ted Williams was not known for his defense, but at times Manny was
Manny's being Manny.
Manny being Manny, cutting off Johnny Damon there, and Johnny Damon. You could make a good team just out of players that are undrafted. Yeah,
like Johnny Damon was one. Oh man, could you? Why did I not remember him?
Johnny Damon.
Right now, no.
Oh, who?
I could have got a great leadoff hitter, Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yep.
70 steals.
Yep. Oh, well, I'll just go over real quick some of the guys who I had on my list that didn't get drafted. There's not going to be many because so first of all, I was trying to decide on my last pitcher. I went with Louis Tiant over Smokey Joe Wood. The guy won like 35 games. I mean, he's old school, but still, he was supposed to be nasty. Joe Cronin, great shortstop. Trot Nixon, Johnny Damon, Harry Hooper, Jackie Jensen, Rico Petrocelli, Koji Uehara, Reggie Smith, actually pretty damn good player there in the 70s. Frank Malzone, good third baseman. Tony Conigliaro, and Wally Shang. And then you had mentioned Ellsbury as well. And there's a ton of guys like that are recent that you could put on there. Like you said, Mike Napoli, or, again, in a deeper draft of five people. I mean, Jesus, it's going to be a lot more difficult. You're not going to have a lineup like this, or, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, people are going to be, but I think everybody, I wonder if the consensus would be Pedro Martinez number one, because he's just that good. And he's just that much of a standout. Like, to just want him on your team, you know what I mean, above anybody else.
Yeah. Well, to me, it was okay. Do you want to start off with hitters, or do you want to start off with pitchers? Because there's only one of each, Right. And if you got a five person draft, if that number one pick you got to have, because it's not coming back for quite some time.
Right. 10. Right.
Yeah.
So you have 10, 1 and 10, right? Or 1 and 9, or no, 1 and 10.
Yeah, there wasn't too many. Like, I just thought of Jacoby Ellsbury. I had Everett Scott. He played shortstop for him.
Yes.
And Larry Gardner over at third base was a couple that I sit there and had over here. Besides Wakefield, like,
yep.
But I'm like, I gotta get Lester.
Yeah, no, I had Lester on there too. I had like, to me, it was Pedro, it was Clemens 2, and then I actually had Schilling 3, just because, or I had Cy Young as well in there as well. But like, Cy, it's hard with some of the guys that played 100 years ago. You know what I mean? Because it's so far back, and people say, well, how hard were they throwing? It was the dead ball era, but I was watching I argue with some people in the past about like how hard guys used to throw, because I think Walter Johnson and some of those guys were throwing close to 100. You know what I mean? Bob Feller, he was throwing like over 100. So it's interesting when you think about the history of baseball, and then people say, it's kind of before integration, different things. But no, I mean, I love baseball, man. I can do this. I can do full major league. Like, right, we could do like a large draft and just, you know, anybody's in play in Major League Baseball history and put something together, I can, you know what I mean? Like, in other words, I love baseball, not just the Red Sox. I love baseball for sure, but definitely Red Sox. And this was a lot of fun for sure. Yeah, I'm actually, so tomorrow, and just because you were saying plugs, I don't know if what you're, you know, but so I'm going to be doing, I think, because this worked out pretty well. And do you think I sound pretty good?
Yeah. I think you sound fine.
Okay. I mean, like, you know, pretty, would you say like good? Like, I sound good. Okay. Just the only reason I ask is just because I don't know how I sound. I mean, but I'm going to have Tony Maserati, you know, from Felger and Maz on tomorrow. I wasn't sure how I'm going to do it on Spaces or a podcast or whatever. So I think I'm going to try to do like a podcast, maybe use this. Now, let me ask you a question. So when this is done recording, this is like the recording of the podcast. Is that now a file that you save on your computer?
Yeah. Go a little behind the scenes here. Once we're done here and I end the recording, it will go into, I can download the audio file or the video file, and that's it. Like, and then I can have my guy tweak it a little bit, to balance.
Right. So you can edit it.
Yeah.
Once you have that. Now, what do you use an editing software, a particular one?
He does all that for me.
Okay. I got you.
So he goes and does all my graphics, all the editing. That's I'll throw him out there on Twitter.
Is that your buddy, the co-host?
No, this is our third guy, our producer.
Okay.
And let's sit there and see. I'll throw his name out there. It's at Chase Fulmer on Twitter. That's at Chase Fulmer. He does all my video editing. He does all of my graphics. He does everything for me. So,
can you hear? I have the game on like low. Can you hear that?
I can hear it very faintly.
Okay, because it's probably better not to have any background noise.
So, but no, cool. I sit there and thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Man, anytime you want to sit there and talk baseball, we can sit there and get you on. DC will hopefully be on next time when he's not on doing daddy duty. He just had a child last in January. So
nice.
Yeah. So he's just,
you guys sounded good. I mean, I was like, you know, I thought I really liked the podcast, and I thought he sounded good and you sounded good, and for sure, I think I follow him as well on Twitter. So no, I'm always down. Like, anytime you're cool as hell. So I'm always down for this. I do spaces every once in a while. To me, the space is a great place to network, right? So like, you get into a space with a bunch of people, you just follow people, you get on as a speaker, people follow you, you get to meet people. So you're not just following somebody, you're following somebody you kind of have a little bit of a relationship and interaction establishment with. So it's like, there's a little something there, and you're like, yeah, you're the guy who I was talking to the other night. So now, now I'm seeing your tweet. So to me, it's a great place to network and really just get more of a community thing. And so I'm going to be doing that at least once a week. You're always welcome. Everybody's welcome, because it's a good time. And I listened to some of it back, and I probably talk too much, and I try not to, but I have a take for everything. Like, I could sit here for 10 hours straight and talk Red Sox. I would never have a pause. Like, I am just literally filled with Red Sox takes and thoughts. I don't care. Sometimes I say something a little bit off the wall, and people say, whoa, what, you know, it's like, listen, let's throw ideas out there. Let's, like I was saying, you know, various things. It's like, I'm not afraid to challenge people's thoughts and think outside the box and throw stuff out there a little bit unconventional. And I don't do that to, like, you know, be controversial. I do that because I'm always thinking analytically about, you know, the team, and I'm just a real psychopath when it comes to the Red Sox, to be honest with you. I love the Red Sox and the Bruins, but really love talking baseball because it's so deep, the minor leagues and just the history of there's so much meat on that bone. Yeah. And I'm sorry, what was your first name again?
Josh.
Josh. Okay. All right. I because sometimes if just, you know, if your name if your Twitter handle, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to kind of ingrain that into my brain. I'm not the greatest with names, but.
But you want to sit there and tell everybody where they can follow you and what's coming up with you?
Yeah, no, so it's Ant, A-N-T, like Ant on the Cape. I'm like, Anthony on the Cape. People probably, know familiar with me on Twitter. But I got the Sox Spaces, sockspaces.com website that is I'm working on. I'm starting a Substack because I have some articles I'm writing that I'm looking to drop. So I'm going to drop them on Substack. I'm going to drop them on my website. And again, I'm going to have a podcast that I'm starting up. Just more of like a not a thing like you're doing necessarily, like as often, but it might be like once a month. Just if I have a special guest like a Tony Maserati or a Lou Merloni. Lou Merloni's been on my spaces before. He's a really cool guy, and so it's going to be maybe like once a month type thing. Maybe have a podcast if I have a special guest or if I really have something to say. But all that's going to be basically on Twitter. So it's, you can go to, sockspaces.com or just Ann on the Cape. I appreciate it.
So, hey, guys, I want to sit there and thank you for taking time and listening to our bonus episode, the all-time Red Sox fantasy baseball draft. So, I'm the Ritt. He's Anthony on the Cape, and we'll talk to you next time on the Pesky Podcast.
Thanks.